I may not be a fall baby, but I love this time of year. Autumn in New York is crisp air, cozy sweaters, and warm flavors just make everything feel comforting. I mentioned I'm getting married. Super busy, everybody is in town, and I want to look my best. Healthy eating is the primary focus, and with Green Chef, the number one meal kit for clean eating, you can do just that. Green Chef makes it easy to spend less time in the kitchen and more time enjoying fall. And with their new Heat and Eat meals, enjoy a delicious, wholesome meal in just 3 minutes. Perfect for supporting your wellness journey, Green Chef recipes feature fresh, organic, seasonal produce and 100% responsibly sourced proteins to help you feel your best. Green Chef's real clean ingredients help you build lasting, healthy habits without the hassle. Enjoy salads ready in just 5 minutes, protein filled breakfasts, or nutrient rich smoothies to fuel your day. Green Chef is ready to nurture your nutritional needs. I use this and you should too. I mentioned I'm getting married. Oh my goodness, it is the week of the wedding. Oh my goodness, I mentioned I'm getting married. It's the week of the wedding. Diego and I have been cooking up a storm, but we don't have a lot of time, so we just tried their baked lemon pepper tilapia with feta. It was the perfect nutritional meal to keep us energized. I loved the feta cheese to give it a little bit of extra oomph. It's so delicious. You'll love it as much as we did. Make this fall your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50 tags and use code 50 tags to get 50% off your first month, then 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's code 50 tags at greenchef.com/50 tags.
Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.
What is going on? You are listening to Tags Podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast. This is episode 719. I am your host, Stevie V, alongside Jeremy Ross Lopez, who just celebrated a birthday. Happy birthday, Jeremy.
Thank you so much.
Looked so much fun in the cave.
Yeah,
and
totally.
And you were telling us it was what was happening, Holly Folly?
Yes, Holly Follies. It's their holiday weekend that's in P-Town. It's the start of their holiday weekend. So every weekend in December, they do a bunch of like Christmas events, parties, activities, bar crawls, a Speedo run, all kinds of stuff.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, we have a hot topic coming up later. We have a lot of hot topics, and one of them was related to P-Town. But of course, joining us, the lovely and talented Cody Maurice Doggett. How's your voice? We were out late last night.
Voice is doing all right. The rest of me, I don't know about. Hello, darlings, by the way.
Exactly.
And happy birthday, Jeremy.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's get into our sex talk today as we are welcoming everybody. It's the end of the year. It's a holiday vibe. As we wrap up the year, we're asking the big sexy questions. How have we been connecting or just come collecting? That's right, I wrote that.
Oh, hey.
We're looking at intimacy, gay hookup culture, tantra, resolutions, and more. And how was your sexual year in 2025? I'll start with myself. I got married this year, but I've talked about on this show that Diego and I are so in love, but we've played around here and there, last night a little bit in the back room, but but then we went home and had really hot connected sex, which we've been doing more of. More on that to come. CUM both. And I think I'm still in that glow of love and marriage and loving it. And so when we talk about that, just a real quick, Cody, what was your sexual year in 2025 in a nutshell? Nut.
In a nutshell, I was just a hoe. No.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho ho ho, exactly. Yeah, I just been exploring sexually, not really taking anything too seriously. I've had some connected sex. I've had some sex that hasn't been too connected, but yeah.
That's okay too.
Yeah. So, but it was all, generally speaking, it was all pretty good. So I can't complain.
Love it. Jeremy, more sex, more connected sex, or less sex?
I think in the new year, I aspire for more sex. We're definitely
That
well
tells us what
connected.
2025 was like.
Yes, I think we're definitely well connected and well suited. I think we're still trying new things and also trying to make more time for us. I think that in the past year, we really crammed in so much that we didn't spend enough time just one on one. That would be like traveling and including lots of friends and lots of family. So all of that was great, but we definitely are going to focus more on us as a couple.
Yeah, that and it's you have to really make that concerted effort too. It was I maybe made the best or not the greatest decision to immediately after the wedding. I had a gig, a job with Vakaya, which I loved, but it
Hmm.
was like the week after the wedding. And
Mm,
of course, I was calling my husband Diego every single day, but I realized that, oh, maybe it was just a little too soon. So since I've been back, we have had family, friends, but also spending a lot of time together too, which I think is so important. And even just
Definitely.
little things like when he gets off of work, just cooking together and
yeah.
taking
Yeah.
Nice.
time and checking in. And I think that's really helping out then ultimately our sex lives as well, because we're making a concerted effort in that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have to, I think. And when we move on to connection versus say come culture, yep, I made that up too. Uh, I mean, quick gratification hookups can be fun. And Cody, I think I bumped into you in the dark room with Diego last night. And
What?
for a hot second, I was like, hello. And you were like, oh, hi, Steve. Hi, Diego. And you did an about face. And I was like, okay, yeah, exactly. But I mean, for me, the dark rooms are all about quick gratification. That's what they've been designed for over the years. And I always use this reference. I love going to Europe because they almost in every bar there, we're getting a little bit better here in America, I feel, but at least in New York. But when you go to most gay bars, it's cocktails, there's videos, but there's always a back room, and it's just kind of built into our culture and nobody blinks twice. And if you want to, I always call it rinse and repeat. You can get a cocktail, talk to your friends, meet new people, go to the dark room for a little bit of fun. That's what I call quick gratification for me, at least at this point. But I love that. Cody, what does quick gratification hookups look like in 2025?
In 2025, it was just, going out. And like you said, rinse and repeat. You go, like last night, we just hung out. We chatted a while, honestly. But then at a certain point, you go and you explore and you see what's going on. You see what's what and who's who. And you see, if you see something you like, you go and you have a little taste.
Yeah, or a couple tastes. Yeah, go back for seconds. Or, yeah,
Right? A whole
all that.
smorgasbord out there. So.
Jeremy, do you think the holiday season amplifies loneliness and horniness or not?
I would say I feel like it amplifies it. I feel like the holidays can be a strange time for people, just with the pressures of gift giving and what family you see and what family you don't. And I don't know. I feel like it definitely heightens, and um, I'm not sure that the sex does, at least in like being in New England where it's freezing and
Mm.
Right.
like super snowy, and all of the food that we eat for these holidays is like heavy and guilty.
That's
It
true.
definitely
Yeah.
does not feel like the season where it's heightened, because I feel like it's more like cozy cuddle up weather, and warm up that way. But yeah, that's my opinion.
And
Yeah.
to have sex, you have to take off 18 layers of clothes. I'm like, oh.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Sweatshirts and socks and blankets and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was waiting for our mutual friend Cody, and he had layer after layer, and I was like, "Can you hurry up? I want to get this cocktail." And he was, I
It's
was
like
like,
peeling a banana
"Yeah, I
out here.
know." Oh, it was a lot, and so I was laughing. I mean, for some though, a lot of people go home for the holidays, and have you ever like? Well, it would be interesting for you, Jeremy, because when you did go back, did you start looking up, like when you would go back home after, when you lived in New York? A lot of people, when they go home for Christmas, turn on the apps. I used to do that when I would go home in my hometown of Fremont, California. I would turn on the apps just to kind of see who's around and a new meet here. And although it was a suburb, so it was interesting pickings, but it was
Yeah, mine
also
were
fun.
always slim pickings, so I would definitely look, but I didn't have anyone that I felt any sort of anything with when coming back to visit.
Yeah, I mean, Cody, I have another time where I hooked up with, I talked about it on this show. We dated more sex, but dated in the 90s. And then I reacquainted with him all these years later. And it was the holiday season. And I
Hmm.
remember meeting up with him. And it was kind of romantic because we had that nostalgia. It was also hot sex, which I had remembered back in the 90s, but it was still hot. And we went to like Christmas dinner. We were almost like pretending as if we had something. It didn't ultimately last that long, but it was
Hmm.
really fun. When you've gone home, I know, your mom's moved here and there. Do you
Yeah.
turn on the apps? Do you think this time of year can actually bring on the horniness? Like, who can I find?
Well, I'm always horny. I feel like
It's part
that's
of
my
you. Yeah, right. That's why
right.
you're
It's
on the
my
show.
cross to bear. I know, right? That this show is perfect for me.
I casted it perfectly. I mean,
Yes, you
yes.
did. You're a very wise man. But yeah, I always turn on the apps, especially when you're in a new place or a place that like you're not really haven't been before and people aren't used to you. You're fresh meat, and there is something about like being fresh meat in a new market. It
You can
is
also
just
try new things too, maybe that you haven't done
yeah,
back home.
definitely. And you know what? My family is from South Philadelphia, so I always have like a uh sorry, South Jersey outside of Philadelphia. And I always have like a soft spot in my heart for Jersey boys and Philly boys. So like they that type of person,
A soft spot
that
or a
scene.
hard spot for them.
Oh, right. And they definitely get me going. So it's always good to go back and just look and see what's out there. And so sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, if we were to talk about the times we've had really connected sex this year, I've talked a lot about, especially with my new app, I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, but it's all about connection. And we talk a lot about Tantra on this show, on how things like eye gazing and, there's things I've worked with Will Tantra of Tantric Fitness, and you do a lot of breath work, and it's sex with intention instead of just releasing, maybe looking at your porn conception. And we talked about it on the show before, but what I love about it is changing the way you even masturbate, because if you've conditioned yourself to masturbate dry with no lube or any lubricant, what he teaches us is that you're training yourself that when you have sex with somebody, you're going to wear lube. So it might be hard for you as a top to then ejaculate, have an orgasm, because you've trained yourself to jerk yourself off.
Hmm.
And what he teaches is like, start, if at the very least, start adding more lubrication when you masturbate and and we can go more into that at another time, but it is sex with an intention, even when you are by yourself, to train yourself. And I love that. If you were to think about 2026, Jeremy, on what kind of sex you want to have with Kevin, what would the archetype look like?
I think just like maybe trying new situations and scenarios would be something I would strive for in the new year for us.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, if, in fact, it's gift giving time, and I was looking at fun gifts for Diego, and I was like, is there a game? There has to be a game for couples or newlyweds. And there is. And it can be a lot. And it's almost like trying different positions. And that will be something we're going to layer in. We want to do more game nights together, but maybe it can turn into a sex fun intimacy that could ultimately turn into really hot sex as well. But what would some of your 2026 sex, if you had to project, we're projecting right now, Cody, what would that look
Mhm.
like?
Well, definitely more connected sex because I feel like I have had a lot of experiences where it's just like you come and you go. And I mean, it's cool for what it is, but I'm definitely on a more connected level right now where I want to have more sex with people that I actually know their name.
Yeah.
And I can actually have a conversation with them and just, connect with them on a deeper level because that always intensifies the sexual experience.
Yeah, like I mean, even reflecting on last night, we had Diego and I had some fun. He went out for a cigarette break, but he's like, "You stay in the dark room." I'm like, "Okay." And yeah, I didn't know these guys' names, and it was just a lot of like cock, whatever play. But it was a lot of fun. But then we went home and had super intense, deep eye contact sex, and it was one of the best we've had all year. And so I do think you can kind of mix those two. Don't you think sometimes, Cody,
Mm,
it's not that we're shaming one or the other. It's
Oh
like all
yeah.
of it's great, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like you have to almost look at you have to take it seriously at times too. Like we take jobs seriously and everything else.
Yeah, you have to diversity and is the spice of life, I think. So the more you mix it up or the if you do one thing like all the time and you don't like mix it up any, I think that it starts to become a little bit run of the mill and mundane. So I think the more you have connected sex and the more you have like random casual sex, that I think that is as long as you're mixing the two up, that's how you get the spice out of the life. And I'm here for it all, like
And
Mariah Carey.
okay, you had to get her in there. I did. It's her season. So
And
yeah,
it's,
absolutely. And Jeremy, I feel like you were saying a lot of that in a way as well, that for 2026, you've been taking stock of you've got this great relationship, but yet it's something you want to work on.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think that we've really worked on the connection and have learned so much about each other. And I think that just making the intention of having one-on-one time is important to that intimacy level of. I think it's easy just when we both live close to family and nearby, and we pack our calendars with things that involve a lot of friends and stuff. So it's easy just to like overlook certain things or just being one on one and intimate together. So that's definitely something we're both working on.
I love that. Good intentions. We'll continue the conversation as we continue in December, but it's always a great reflective month. So I love that. Hey there. If you're listening to this conversation thinking, yeah, I want deeper connection, not just another swipe or hookup, then I created something for you. It's called Connect in Confidence, my new LGBTQ plus app designed to help queer men build meaningful connections, boost confidence in dating, and explore intimacy with intention. If you're ready to go in the new year feeling more seen, more grounded, and more connected, check it out. You deserve real connection, not just another quick release. Go to studio.com/Steve V for the web version or studio.com/Steve V/connect. So excited to get into hot topics. And did you guys know that breast reductions are extremely popular among cis men? However, trans advocates can't stand the hypocrisy. So recently, the New York Times did this whole story about cisgender men, and the number one plastic surgery that they are getting are breast reductions to quote unquote feel good about their bodies and not be, when they go into a dressing room, always feel like nothing ever fits them, or I'm using words that were in the story, the man boobs that show out. And people were supportive of this essentially. And it's really meant that so many men are re embracing life. And I think we've all had a moment where something changed and you're free now to kind of be who you are. And it's no matter what it could be little things. And however, the trans community is like, this is what we've been advocating forever. Like, why do we get so much pushback? What do you think about were you surprised, Jeremy, that it's the number one most popular for cis men to have a breast reduction? And what do you think about some of the trans advocates that think it's a little hypocritical that we're not supporting them?
I mean, I do agree with the hypocrisy, but I also am kind of shocked that that's the case, just that procedure in general, because
Yeah,
that's not something that I knew.
I
So
didn't either at all. But I mean, what do you think about this story, Cody?
I think I mean, they're completely correct, the people that are calling out the hypocrisy, because basically, I think it's called gyno or something like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
with
exactly.
the man boobs. It's very common, and it's gender affirming care for them to get that removed. So I think it
And
happens
widely
with
accepted. And the New
yeah.
York Times is doing a whole article on these men are finally feeling free and good. But do you see the hypocrisy in
Oh,
that?
for sure. Oh, for sure. Because all that the trans community want to do is have their own gender affirming care, because they don't feel like their body on the outside matches who they are on the inside. And that's what these men are doing with this procedure as well, because if you feel they feel like a man and they think that men shouldn't have breasts, and it's complete and 100% hypocrisy, and I'm glad people are calling it out.
I really am too, because I can't ever understand. Like, just let people be. What do you care? And I'm always so surprised when this isn't this story, but I was telling a friend of ours about a lesbian. We were doing the story on this show, Cody, you and I, a
Mhm.
black lesbian singer in LA who
Mm.
the whole bathroom situation, she doesn't really like that. She called them men, they're trans. And
Mhm.
I just feel like who just let people be, and I don't understand. Or J.K. Rowling's like, what's her beef? Or even
Oh, her.
Martina Navratilova, who is prominent, iconic tennis lesbian, who she's been known to get on X and say so many things about the trans community that, and she's like she's angry at them, and it's like, girl, what is your problem? Like, calm down. I don't get it. So yeah. Okay, well, it's a sad day or not, depending on how you view it. But Andrew Christian is officially shut down. The brand, after selling 20 years of outfitting gay men in all his styles, if you call them that, is finally shut down. And it's so weird. I saw this news story. It's been running on all platforms, but over the weekend, of course, it's Christmas time. Diego has some really cute underwear by Andrew Christian. I thought, let me just see what they have. I know he's going out of business. We talked about it earlier in the year. He tried to partner up with other brands. He said the decline of his brand had to do a lot with fast fashion. I say I like his underwear, but I think a lot of his clothing throughout the years was breakthrough because he dedicated it to our community. But on the other hand, I was talking to a friend here right now who said it was a little flimsy looking and silly sexy at times. And I agree with that too. I mean, I went on the website though to see, and it literally is like you can't order anything anymore. I
Really?
mean, will you? It, Andrew Christian underwear is now considered vintage, Jeremy. What did you think of the brand? What do you think about him closing shop? Did
I
he have a name?
I kind of always thought it was trashy, but I know that it's popular and people liked it. did not find the design to be that great, and I didn't think their fabrication was great. It I did think it was kind of flimsy, and just like one of those things that it kind of took off because of the marketing that they used and the guys that they
Yes.
used. I remember they had like a lot of ads, and their ad
Yep.
campaigns with their like video clips of their different themes and stuff. But overall, I don't think that it's like, I don't know. I don't feel like we're gonna miss that much. And there are now at this point so many underwear brands that also use great quality fabric. I really love the my boyfriend introduced me to the Built underwear. It's the brand
Oh.
BYLT. And they have great fabrication, but they also design the boxer briefs with like a great pouch and makes it accessible to use like daily when you're like going
Oh.
to the bathroom, and they're just so well made and really comfortable. So I don't know, I just like a better design, and also just like nicer fabrication that doesn't like wear with how long you keep them and wash them and stuff like that. So
I agree with you, and I think that I was thinking the same thing. He said he's been quoted as saying he's going to explore his next endeavor, whatever that looks like. I think marketing he was genius at.
oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Such good videos, so cool. But when it came down to, I remember going on Santa Monica Boulevard to the store, and it was racks and racks of, and it was just flimsy and didn't seem to really stand up. And so I think maybe that was the problem on why he didn't really partner up with any, or nobody was willing to purchase the brand. But, he did create a huge impact for our community. What do you say to this, Cody?
Yeah, it's the end of an era, so it's okay to be a little. I'm a little sad because I thought Andrew Christian would always be around, but you guys are so right. I think in the beginning, when the brand first started, that it was a little bit cooler and a little bit better fabrication and fabrics, and but I think as time went on, it just started to get a little tacky, honestly, and I definitely stopped buying them. So. I mean, I can understand why it's happening, but I basically came up with Andrew Christian in the zeitgeist. So, yeah, it's a little sad for
Well, I'm
me.
moving this next story up because we're kind of on fashion ish. This isn't really fashion to me at all, but I'm upset. I put the link in our chat, and I'm kind of obsessed right now about talking about Sydney Sweeney because I just felt like everybody's made her the it girl, and we shoved it down our throat. And while I loved her on White
Speaking of
Lotus
tacky,
initially, I've just been like, who is this girl? I think she's probably nice enough, but she was recently a guest on Jimmy Fallon, and the gays on the comment section, including her gay hairstylist, have been calling her out. What am I talking about? Well, she was a guest on Jimmy Fallon, and people are calling her, from her hair that looked like a wig, which wasn't, because her gay hairstylist clapped back, to her dress, made her look like a Fox News correspondent. And
yeah.
they're not wrong. Is she I don't know, it looks, and I just feel, anyway, what do you think about it, from her controversy from her American Eagle jeans ad that had people questioning, like, where is she on the spectrum of MAGA, to coming in some certain movies that haven't done that great, to, I don't know. Jeremy, quick
I
take
think
on Sydney
um,
Sweeney, and you can watch, I'll post this on our Tags Patreon community so you know what we're talking about.
So I think people are giving her too much shit, and they just need to like, I feel like at the same time they're giving her a lot of clout by talking about her so much. Like, if you really dislike something, just leave it alone. I get that she gets so much shit for showing her boobs so much, and then she covers them up and everyone complains. So it's like she's kind of damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. I think that they just need to leave her alone. I think her hair looks fine. I love a good blunt bob, and she's a pretty girl. And if you don't like it, just leave it alone.
So,
I just
yeah.
takes so much energy to drag someone. I get that she did the whole American Eagle thing, and that didn't sit well with people, and not everyone loves her films, and I get it. But it's like, how many things are you going to keep throwing at someone that's just trying to be a young actress? Like,
Right. So,
no.
okay, a couple things on that. I'm with you because there's an actress that I do not like at all, and she's currently in one of the top musicals on Broadway right now called Chess, and everybody's seeing Chess, but first of all, I saw a version of it in LA, and I didn't really like the storyline, so it's not my kind of show.
Mhm.
But I cannot see a show if I don't really like an actress in a production. And Leah Michele is one of those actresses. And
She
I
still
know
is.
from firsthand knowledge, I sat across from John Bon Jovi, none other. I was dating my boyfriend at the time, was friends with the band and John, and he had worked with her and just said she was a bitch. And everybody said that about her. And I just don't like her. And I am not going to see a show that she's in, also a show I don't like. So hers, I think, is, she's had to apologize too, but I don't like her. In this case, Sydney Sweeney is, I said I liked her in some stuff, but Jeremy, this look, how can you defend this look?
It's not that great, but it's really not that terrible at the same time. It's a
Is that what you would put if you were styling? Would
Of
you put
course.
her Jimmy Fallon in this? A Fox News correspondent look?
No, I wouldn't, but it doesn't read Fox correspondent to me because her
She
tits
looks
are
like Megyn Kelly.
She looks like, yeah.
She looks like she's about to start reading the news.
and she's much better than
She's the
Megan.
weather girl.
I think you guys are dogging her out like everybody else. That's
We are, yes. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Cody.
Okay, so Blakely Thornton. First of all, I love this man. He is so witty and so smart. That's the guy who did the whole who roasted her basically for this wig that's not a wig, I guess.
It's not a wig apparently because the gay hairstylist clapped
Well,
back and it's not a wig.
that makes it even worse because
He said,
I think her hair looks horrible.
Support for this podcast is brought to you by Walden University. Ever catch yourself thinking, what if I could go after what I actually want and really make a difference? You're not alone, and that's exactly why I want to tell you about Walden University. For over 50 years, Walden has helped working adults like you get the W, with the knowledge and skills to build the future you want and make a difference where it matters most. If you've been waiting for the right moment, this is it. Head to waldenu.edu and take that first step. Walden University. Set a course for change. Certified to operate by Chev.
Hi, friends. We are Dads and Daddies, a podcast about the lives and times of adult gay men in the here and now. I'm Brian Rubin Sowers, a married dad of two.
And I am Judson Morrow, a resident daddy. Join us for frank conversations and personal stories of sex, love, relationships, parenthood, daddyhood, addiction, and so much more.
Find us on Instagram at Dads and Daddies Pod and listen to new episodes every Tuesday on all major platforms.
For the north of the south of the Tennessee, something was hilarious. I'll post it again, you guys.
So, just to piggyback on what Jeremy said, people aren't fucking with her. They don't like her, and I think that's completely justified. I think that Blakely went on just to be funny and to roast her a little bit. But people are not going to see her movies. I think that the controversy with her is that she did this thing. It may have been misconstrued with the whole jeans things. It may have been on purpose, but she didn't go on and clear it up and say, "Oh no, I'm not about this." She's doing that now that she has noticed that the money is flying out of her pockets. So I feel like she is just here to, like we all are, to make a coin off of the back of the gays
but not very strategic at times.
Exactly, she's not being smart about it. I feel like she needs to really just come out and speak what her truth is. She was a registered Republican, which is not, it's
not against the law to be
exactly
right.
It's not damning. I don't think
I say that a lot. Yeah,
she should have probably came out and cleared up what her actual intentions are and where she sits as far as rights of human beings are concerned. Gay,
yeah.
Black and brown.
I said my
color.
piece about her, but I just think this look is just like
Horrible.
horrible.
Uh,
It's horrible. I mean, it's Fox News correspondent
yeah.
and glossy and giving 80s. I don't know. I don't like it. Sorry, Jeremy.
I don't mind. It just doesn't bother me that much. I've
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
uglier looks than this. That's for damn sure.
I don't think she looks horrible, but
No,
I
she
do
don't. I
think this shit
mean,
looks
yeah,
like
she looks
I
like a
mean,
Barbie
she's a
doll, but
girl.
yeah, she's very pretty. Okay, let's just stay on fashion really quickly
I don't
because
think
this
she's
is too
that
much
pretty.
fun. And I put another link in our chat. There is an influencer. I didn't know him, but he goes by Lyas Medini. Do any of you know him?
Mm-mm. Who
I
that?
So
don't think so.
he decided to at a place I've actually been to in London, the Royal Albert Hall, which is there's a 007 movie, iconic. Look it up; it's so good. And he went to the 2025 Fashion Awards wearing, I mean, one of my favorites, Jean Paul Gaultier. I went and saw he did a whole theater production in Paris, and it was so good. I looked at the whole looks from this particular runway collection. They were really great. This would not be one of them. This was the only one, and it's a bodysuit that is like makes you a nude bodysuit of a man that is just that. Like if you just put on a nude bodysuit, we have to come to Jeremy, our fashion correspondent. What do you think? And
I absolutely hate it. It's very
oh,
ugly.
now you hate this.
Yeah. I don't like the fabric and I don't like the print. I don't love that it's a picture of a hairy body and it's like bleeped out of his
Sloppy.
crotch. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, and Jean Paul Gaultier has so many beautiful designs.
If
This
he
is
had just picked any other
certainly not one
look
of
in
them.
this collection, it would have been like amazing. This was the one, but I think it goes. How did I start the whole thing, Cody? He's an influencer,
Yeah, he did
so
this for
and
publicity.
he's gotten so much press. So I guess the question begs: did he make the right decision? Because everybody's talking about him, and none of us knew about Lyas Medini before this, but now we're all talking about him.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a smart move. Is it a fashion move? I don't think so because this is absolutely horrible. He's a cute guy too, but I would never in a million. Well, you know what? If it gets me some traction, maybe I would. Maybe a
I
little
don't
bit browner though.
I don't know. I mean, the whole time I kept thinking like and it's so funny because our other co-host Lincoln was kind of a sidebar, but sort of makes sense where I'm going. Just stay with me here. So he came over for Thanksgiving, Lincoln, and well, amongst 10 other people, and he was like, "Where is your Tom of Finland picture that you had on the wall that where a guy's taking the hugest dick you could ever imagine, and where is your Tom of Finland shower curtain?" And I said, "Oh, well, I just changed it." And I said, "Well, to be honest, my mom was coming." He's like, "Oh, so you did it because your mom?" And I was like, "Yeah, my mom is totally cool with the gay marriage. She's cool with everything, me being gay. She does not need, my mom does, 88-year-old mom does not need to see."
No, I totally get that.
Yeah,
Who
but he
wants
was
their
giving,
mom to see that?
yeah, right. I then was looking at this and I thought, let's just say, all of a sudden I'm this influencer and I'm on like, my mom would be like, "What in the world did you wear?" She would be so horrified if I wore something like this. I couldn't do it because of my mom. And what does that say about me? But I just think it's not fashionable. I also hate nude anything like that material. I hate it. It's like so gross to me. They do it in a lot of ice skating like outfits, and
Yeah.
I've told you before, Jeremy, I hate the nude.
It doesn't look like Jean Paul Gaultier is high fashion, and this does not look like high fashion fabric or design. It really looks like something that you could totally order on Shein or Temu, like just something
Or
that.
Andrew Christian, but oops, it's
Ooh.
gone. But yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's too much fabric for Andrew Christian, but yes, I get where you're going with that.
Yeah, exactly. And then lastly, in Hot Topics, the question was posed, why are so many gay men single? Some gays have theories, but a recent Pew Research survey found that 62% of gay and bi men in the US are single. And on Reddit, people were musing about why are so many gays single? What do you think is the main reason that many gay men are single in the US? Well, I'll read you a couple. We'll talk about it. What characteristics and or attributes do you believe impact that? Some said inflexibility. As someone who's has a single gay brother, the reason that he is still single is he is not a good partner. Ooh, that's harsh words. He
Mm.
lives in a huge city and has access to a lot of gay men, but he cannot find a partner because he is not willing to compromise. And living with someone implies that you are willing to compromise. He is better off living alone. Somebody said narrow-mindedness. Said
Oh my.
another, we don't like a Greek god. Some of us want to settle down rather than be at raves and orgies and brunch every weekend. We are too hairy or too smooth or too fat or too skinny or too dark. I don't know, not high expectations, lack of commitment, lack of options, happiness just being single. What do you say to this, Jeremy?
I
Why?
would say
Yeah.
I would say that it sounds like the person hasn't really come to the decision of being in a relationship, so it sounds like they have more of like soul searching to do, and maybe they are deciding because they live in a big city that they'd rather more options than to slow down at all, or maybe like just to get more serious with one of their options, maybe.
Yeah. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being
No,
single. And
not at
for
all.
years and years, I think for 10 years, I was single and enjoyed it. I was happy. I wasn't pining and thinking and telling all my friends and family, like, oh, I'd really love to meet somebody. Nope. I was actually had a program going. I loved my being single. I loved my alone time. I had
Mhm.
great family and friendships, and it wasn't really something that I was thinking about. And loved when I would meet couples and saw their relationships, but I never thought, oh, I wish I had that. And then there was a period where I did try and I put myself out there and I went on speed dating, and out of it came a good friend that you and I know, Cody,
Mhm.
but not a love, but a great friendship. And that was amazing. And then I was like, yeah, maybe I'm forcing this. And then out of the blue came, I did start doing more intention setting. And that's when I met my husband and at work. But what do you say to this? Why are so many gay men single? These stats, Cody.
So for me, I think it's we have as a community, we have gay DD.
Oh,
There's just so many options out there, and people just want the next best thing. Why stick to something when you? Why stick to one hole when you can have 18 holes in one night?
oh,
So I think that a lot of that is there's just overload and there's so many options. You're always looking for the next best thing. Also, part of this, in my personal opinion, is that relationships are hard work. You have to be able
yep.
to compromise, like you were saying.
Can I get an
You,
amen, Jeremy?
a
Amen.
you have to be willing to put in the work, and I think that a lot of people are not willing to put. They go in thinking it's going to be all roses and candles, and but you have to do like there's a lot of introspection that comes with being in a relationship because you have this person here that is looking at you and looking at all the good and the bad, and they're
Mhm.
basically a mirror for you.
Right, and I
So
think that you have to do that, like you said, it's
Take
some
stock.
self-reflecting too.
Yeah.
yeah,
You have to understand that you're both a work in progress,
amen.
and let the other be vulnerable enough to let the other person help you through times as well as you help them. If you're not willing to do any of those things, then it's not like maybe the right timing, but you can't say that it's never going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I think that like you hit the nail on the head. A lot of people are not willing to be vulnerable in these times because it like makes them look weak or makes them feel weak. But vulnerability is not weakness; it's strength.
And
Right.
then, and just one last time, piggybacking on you really do. So now you've layered in, you've got your work, your family, your friendships, your fun time, the things you like to just do on your own.
Mhm.
And if you factor in a relationship, which is a blessing and can be really rewarding, you have to take stock of that too, and
Yeah.
like you said, reflect, and it's ongoing. I like that because to me that is life and I'm ready for it. I just think I wasn't probably ready for that, and that's why I didn't find love before.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm now ready to I'm in it now, and I've layered that in, and every decision, everything I do, I still have my alone I mean, I work from home, he goes to an office. However, everything I do, I'm like, oh, let me just check. I'm checking in, but it's part of my new existence now, and I love that. And so it's good. But you're right. Maybe it's just we're not ready, and that's okay. And I always go back to gay men. A lot of us. It took a long time for some of us to come out. So if you factor that in, what if you didn't come out till your 30s? Well, you need to then explore all your individuality and what sex is like and all this other stuff. And maybe you don't find love until, like I did, at 53 or
And
52,
I
whatever.
also think another good point is I feel like uh, when we do come out, there is an aspect of many of us that is somewhat selfish and self-centered,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
focusing on everything about us. And part of being in a relationship is letting some of that go
Mm-hmm.
and being able to care about someone else's feelings, someone else when they're feeling bad, when they're feeling good, and factoring in just everything to do with another person and making time for all of that, in as well as worrying about yourself and keeping some of that. So being selfless, but also being selfish, but less selfish than you're used to.
Oh my God. When you were telling just exactly what you were saying, we were out late last night, and I didn't get working on this show until like closer to recording time, but it's working. But in the middle, and my friend who was here all weekend was leaving, so I was spending time with him, and on and on. And in the middle of it, I looked down, and my mom was calling me, and wouldn't you know it, she called me because I can't figure out how I'm not hearing the phone ring. What's going on with my iPhone? And so I stayed on the phone. I'm like, okay, there's a switch on the left, and she's like, I know you have your show, but at the end of it, she said we figured it out. So her ringtone's back on, and again, she's 88, y'all. So give her a minute here. But she said, "Isn't it funny? I couldn't, you know." There's a whole thing about mama's boys, and we have so many examples in our existence. She's like, I love your sister, but I couldn't call her for this. And I said, and it's like, it's that effort that you want to, like, I was under the gun to get ready for this show, but I'm like, nope. And I'm here. I'm like, oh, that's right, mom. You have the iPhone 12 mini on that phone. And I'm looking it up, and she's like, where? I'm like, okay, hang up. I'm going to call you and see if it works. And we did that for like, it was just, I mean, it
So
was,
cute.
it was so cute. And it was something I'll probably, that one silly moment, but I took the time,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I made breakfast for Diego because he has off on Mondays, and my friend, even though I had the show, and it's effort, but it's like rewarding effort to
Yeah.
put
Yeah.
in.
So that's so beautiful. And I read somewhere that the way that your parents raised you, they treated you when you were a kid, is how you treat them when they're older. So that's so lovely. Your mama raised you right, and I feel like all of that permeates into all of your relationships across the
Mhm.
board.
It
So I think
really
that's really
does, I
great.
think, right?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
boyfriend said that when we first met, he said that that was like a huge deciding factor, is seeing how someone treats their mom specifically out of both of the parents, and how that is really helpful to tell someone's character.
Yeah.
I mean, moms, we could go on and on about moms, but I mean, it's beautiful, and you're right. It's like such a good indicator, and it's lovely. And now when my mom says goodbye, she's and say love to Diego too, my other son now,
Oh.
and just to hear that is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we love
Can I say,
giving
can,
advice.
can I say
Yeah,
one more
please.
thing before we move on? So I kind of want to backtrack just a bit about talking about being ready. I don't think that like anybody's ever going to be 100% ready for a relationship, but you definitely have to have that mindset that you want to try. So yeah, I
Yeah.
just wanted to say that part too.
I really like that because I think sometimes you think you have to have your dot your I's and cross your
Yeah.
T's, and oh well, when I make this amount of money, and or when I'm this successful, and it's hopefully you meet somebody that you know supports you where you're at.
Yeah.
And that brings us to advice right now, because it's
Oh, lovely.
exactly what they are asking on a recent Reddit thread. By the way, we give advice. We'll give our handles at the end of the show. We are here for you, sex or relationship. We are here for you. But this one came on Reddit posing the question, paying for dates. So it's kind of what we're talking about here. The person wrote, 33, started to date with a guy 30 somewhat more than a month ago, and it feels like we're starting to become official. We live almost 3 hours away from each other, but we decided that we both are willing to travel for the other person. Distance, not really an issue. I don't think that is it could be, could not be. Instead, what kind of started to bother me is that every time when we are together, I'm always the one who pays. So during a weekend, these costs add up because I don't live a lifestyle where I go to a restaurant every day and a bar after. And girl, the prices at the bars these days, my God. I was like, what? At the very first weekend we spent together, he did offer to pay for something, but because it was our first weekend, I just told him not to worry about it. However, he has never offered it since then. Based on our conversations, it sounds like we roughly earn around the same amount of money financially. I don't believe he's after money more, so he's just a bit spoiled and probably doesn't even realize the situation. I am sure that I don't overreact. Money is money, and I'm not a billionaire. At the same time, I would really like to make this thing work with him, and not sure how to approach this topic in a proper way. My friend just told me to have a direct combo with him, and so that's where we're at. Should he have a direct conversation with him because he likes the guy, Jeremy?
I mean, I would. I think um
Money is funny.
it's one of those situations where you want to be upfront and direct about the topic, and I also feel there are like more low key ways that he could go about it, like just asking when they finish one meal if they would like to split. I've definitely been in that situation before and totally fine with splitting, as well as paying when I want to or when I'm able to. So I think it's definitely something he should address and nip it in the butt before it gets further and he falls for him more, and then it becomes something he resents the other person for. If he likes him enough, it's worth having that discussion. And honestly, when you like someone enough, having awkward discussions is going to be part of
Yeah.
getting in a relationship.
I love how we were all like, oh yes.
It's just part of it's what
I think you respect people more too. Like, I think your respect grows for the other person, making yourself vulnerable, but also sometimes putting them at not at fault, but just calling them out or being able to make things apparent or make them aware of something that either made you feel a certain way or makes them uncomfortable. Because the second that you don't, you just start to resent them, and then you're doing yourself a disservice because you're going to get angry and mad with them at something that they can't help.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that come up. I mean, there was a point in time I used to have this friend in LA, or actually Bay Area, LA, and we were roommates at one point. He's always done so well for himself, had great houses, and financially very successful. And he would always do this. We dated for a minute, but we realized we were better friends. And it was like, yeah, I was too argumentative for him at the time. And he would always get mad because he would pay for any date he would go on, and then he would come to me and kind of complain about it, like, well, I'm always paying. I'm like, it's because you set up this structure that's what you, and I'm sorry, you have more, so don't do that and then complain about it later, which I
Mhm.
thought was a big mistake too. I dated a major Hollywood agent at one time when I was a struggling actor. And yeah, he paid for everything. It was built into the system on how we would go out. But I felt like he really pursued me. I didn't have a lot of money. He knew I didn't have a lot of money. He wanted to always pay. And at that time, that situation worked. Now it's like, okay, I mean, I feel like, do they have a job? You need to have a job at least. I mean, but in this situation, I would say I feel like have a conversation about it. Also, I'm a little bit perturbed at this other guy going along with it. Are you feeling that way, Cody, too? Like, did
Definitely.
he offer a little bit?
It's giving Treadwife a little bit. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I
Why?
mean, yeah. We
Yeah,
all
I
have
don't.
those friends why am I always getting the bill? It's like, and I mean, it becomes money's funny. It can become a thing. And well, I would say they have a thing here. He should have a conversation, but I'm kind of feeling like it's a little bit of a red flag for me. It's a soft red that this guy is not ever like putting his credit card down.
Yeah, and it's everything is give and take. So I feel like I'm not a Dutch guy. I don't like going Dutch. I feel like if you go out with someone and you have romantic feelings towards them, I don't know. For me personally, I like to pay, or I like for them to pay every once in a while. And
Oh, look
like
at
you guys said,
you.
I know, right? Maybe I'm old
I've
fashioned
always
like
been a
that.
Dutch guy, but I like that
Really?
idea too.
Yeah, but I think it's a like as long as you're trading off, I don't see anything that's an issue with that. So I feel like you guys said it's just a conversation that needs to be had. It doesn't have to be anything big. And yeah.
Well, maybe that's the
But maybe he wants
thing.
to be taken care of. I don't
Well,
know.
okay,
Maybe he wants to
so
be a sugar
years
baby.
but here's the thing, Cody. Years ago, I think I was telling one of my straight friends or maybe my sister that, oh yeah, for the most part, what I've noticed is gay men, if they go on a date, it's Dutch, it's built into it. And she was telling me, well, if a guy asks a girl out, in those days, right? I don't know how it's still working in the hetero. We're not that podcast, but maybe somebody can chime in. And we were finding that really interesting. But in your case, if you're always flipping the bill, are you setting that tone and that's, Cody covers the bill? At what point you're then expecting them, assumingly that, well, maybe on the next time they'll cover the bill, right? Or
Yeah. Well, I it's not something that I've ever had to address because I feel like I've gone on dates with people or gone on second dates with people that uh are very not generous, but they're not trying to take advantage of me or anyone that I'm or anyone that's around. So, generally speaking, I like to pay for the first date, but that's just me. It's just cuz it's who
that's a
I
nice
am.
gesture. I think if you do ask somebody out, it's kind of a nice gesture, and then see how it
Yeah.
goes from there. I have a friend that makes significant amounts of money, but he always wants to get the bill, and it's
Yeah.
really lovely and nice. And we just had drinks the other night, and he was again and I'm like, no, let me at least do this. Like, I think you have to be mindful of
Yeah.
that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I could do this all night long. So much fun.
Definitely.
You can
Yes.
always follow my co-host. You can follow Jeremy on Instagram at jrosslopez. Do you have some birthday pics up there?
Yes, I do.
Love
Yee.
it. Follow Cody on Blue Sky and on Instagram at the same handle at Mr. Maurice. And follow me on the gram. I am _Steve V. And in the meantime, continue having hot
Gay sex.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday.
Hi, friends. We are Dads and Daddies, a podcast about the lives and times of adult gay men in the here and now. I'm Brian Rubin Sowers, a married dad of 2.
And I am Judson Morrow, a resident daddy. Join us for frank conversations and personal stories of sex, love, relationships, parenthood, daddyhood, addiction, and so much more.
Find us on Instagram at Dads and Daddies Pod and listen to new episodes every Tuesday on all major platforms.